What is going on, everyone? AP over here at Rumpier Sports, bringing you once again the Strokes Gain Show. We're coming off a massive week in PGA. We had our two guys and a couple big member hits. We had Hoop taking down 145K. Tony, Big T, took down a monster score as well. Both of them are going to be battling this week for the PGA Live Final. You love to see it. Then we have MN. MNN, nice cards. A buddy of mine, even my mom was rooting this guy on. I got a text. AP's mom rooting this guy on. You love to see it. We bring the good mojo. This guy won 73K. We had a phenomenal week. We have a new promo code for you guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Helps us keep this free for each and all of you each and every week. We got a promo code RPS NFL 15. We're running this promo up until NFL starts. It gives you 15% off for life. Go to the site, sign up for any of them, I believe, and you're going to get 15% off. And I think it's a phenomenal deal. I got to kick it over to Hoop. Hoop, you had a massive week last week. The heater continues because the last time we talked, you also were coming off a really nice win. Talk to us about the week, man. Obviously PGA and everything, and then, talk to us a little bit about the live final this week.
Yeah, so it ended up being a good week. At the Olympic event, it was kind of, last week when we talked about it on the show. Pretty much, the strategy that I employed. The guys that I liked up top, I made sure I got way overweight on, and that worked. Those guys were Xander. Those guys were Morikawa. Over the field on those two guys. And again, a lot of times in these events, we see people go with the balanced approach. That's what happened at the Olympic event. It's the same thing that's probably going to happen again this week. People just get sucked into the balance. When these big dogs go out there and get a win, the balance builds are drawing dead. Morikawa ended up, not great to start the event, but when you're playing in a no-cut event like that, the cream kind of rises to the top, and you saw Morikawa get all the way home, and he was, playing for the bronze medal. A big day on Saturday, big day on Sunday. You really had to have both those guys in your player pool to get the job done. Some of the cheapies, the one guy that really was big for me was Rory Sabatini. Not many people played him. He is super low owned. Obviously, he got won the silver medal. So it was a good week all around. Some of the popular plays that people wanted to fade, like Mito. Big week for him. Can't imagine fading him. Johnny Vegas. I can't remember where he finished, but he had a decent week as well. So it was, it was good. It kind of sucked because I really didn't get to sweat it all the way out. I was sleeping and woke up to a nice little surprise on Sunday morning. This week does start the DK live final. I have 2 seats to that. I believe Tony has 1 or 2 as well. And it's elimination type thing. So it goes for 3 weeks. So there's 250 people in the event. The top 100 advance this week, and then the top 40 advance next week. So we're going to be looking to get both my seats through and, come back next week and kind of talk through it with you guys. So definitely looking forward to this event. No cut event, obviously. And I think a different type of strategy needs to be employed. And we'll talk about it on the show here today.
Yeah, again, congratulations. Awesome week. I was only kicking myself because, I ended up fading Xander, but I was very high on Rory Sabatini. I was between him and Lahiri for the notebook play. We talked about it on the show last week, and I went with Lahiri. And, the putter failed him. Sabatini brought it on Sunday. But honestly, if I'm being honest to everyone else, I didn't have any sweats. I was not watching golf on Saturday night, or what would that have been? Friday or Saturday night? I believe Saturday night. I was my wife was out of town. My kids were begging me to watch Space Jam, so I was watching the new Space Jam movie, which is it's a brutal watch. But I was, I had to be in dad mode. Had to watch LeBron try to act, and it was not good. I get it's a kid movie, but God, it's pretty brutal. Snyder, talk to us about your week, man. Morikawa, he's the highest priced golfer this week. Didn't get it done last week out in Japan, but I know he's still your guy. Talk to me about your week.
Yeah, my week was pretty interesting. I mean, I went through those first 3 days and my lineups weren't looking good at all. I mean, I faded Xander and I faded Hideki, and I was really high on Morikawa. And going into Sunday, like I think I only had I had like 100 lineups in, and like only one of my 100 lineups were cashing going into Sunday. But then Sunday rolls around, Morikawa does what he needs to do. He rolls off. I mean, I had 3 or 4 guys end up in the top 3. So, I mean, my Sunday just completely turned around. I ended up having a slightly profitable week. So it was all good for me. I was extremely happy about that. And I'm looking forward to getting to this one.
On mute.
Right. Yeah, I was so excited because Stanton just hit a bomb. That's all of us are on the Yankees. I was looking at my phone. I know I'm trying to focus on golf, but you just love it when you see members and RPS logos all at the top. And so it is what it is. But yeah, guys, we got a big week this week. We got another no-cut event, WGC. I think this is a strategy that a lot of us here are very good at. Before we dive into it, I do got to also mention we've enhanced our golf team and NFL team. We got Tambo. He just joined the crew, toe tagging Tambo. You're going to start to see him coming soon on shows, most likely starting first thing in September. He's working on an article for us this week. It's just a great addition to the team. We talk about it all the time. There's when you're in the shoes that we're in, a lot of things you can do investment wise to invest back into the business, into the members. And, we talk about it. You invest in people, have a strong team or tools. Our thing is people. We want the best team. We have the best team. We have the best players, the guys that win the most. And you're seeing it right now with the members. So that is our goal, helping people win. I even heard an ad today. It's just crazy. Like this ad out there, they're saying like DFS is rigged. I mean, I could not believe it because they're a DFS site too that was saying this. And I'm telling you guys, it's not rigged. Come join us. We're gonna, everyone has losing nights. I have losing nights. We all do. But I'm telling you, if you take notes, you're gonna become a better player with us. And then one more time, if you're not,
I don't mean to cut you off, but I don't know what's worse, that ad or the new big thing you hear, which is just baffling to me. And I hope no one falls for it. Like if you're not subscribed to Run Pure Sports and you're looking for somewhere to go, please don't fall for this one, where they say they're going to run the simulation and tell you what the best lineup is. Literally, they're telling you you're going to run a simulation of the events and they're going to tell you who you should play. What the F does that even mean? Like, that is just a big crock of shit. So if you're out there not subscribed to anything, not subscribed to RPS, and someone tells you they're going to run the simulation and tell you the best plays, run the fuck away from that, because that's the biggest crock of bullshit there is out there.
Run away from that. Oh, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, I could honestly, I could talk about that forever. I come from the finance world. Monte Carlo simulations is something I know very well. Those guys probably just think I'm some, donkey or whatever, and I don't understand the logic behind it. I do. And sports is different. It really is. It doesn't work like that. You can run a lot of simulations. It's just going to tell you, it's going to mislead you, in my opinion. So it's such a good point, Hoop. Again, though, we got that new promo. It's going to be available until football starts. RPS NFL 15% off for life. Do it. Come sign up. Come run Pure with us. All right, guys, let's get into the golf this week. We got a WGC event, TPC Southwind, par 70, 7,200, 7,300 yard track. Usually these things play pretty tough. Snyder, I want to kick it over to you to talk a little bit about the course and what you're looking at in players this week. Mute. You're on mute.
Yeah, after a week off, the PGA is finally back after that week. Here at Southwind, this place is a par 70, about 7,200 yards. Like you said, it's going to have 12 par 4s here. 6 of them are going to be in that 450 to 500 range. So that'll be one of the things I'm keying in on. There's only 2 par 5s here this week, and you have to score on these par 5s. There's only 3 holes on this whole course that concede a birdie percentage of over 20%. And 2 of these are the holes, and you must score here. Most of your approach shots will be coming in from that 140 to 170 range, so that'll be a key distance I look at. The golfers that tend to do best here are the elite ball strikers and the guys that can put the ball in the fairway, as this Bermuda rough will give you some nasty lies at times and really limit you at attacking these smaller greens. These greens are at right around 4,300 square feet, which is smaller than the tour average. Putting on this Bermuda grass is different than like your bent grasses, as this is more of a grainier type of surface. It's more beneficial to be below the hole here. When you're putting with the grain, it's always going to be faster than when you're going against the grain. And sometimes this can confuse some of the players, as they can't normally tell like which is which at times. 11 of the holes will have water in play here. Justin Thomas has said this course kind of plays similar to East Lake. Some of the key stats I'm looking at here is strokes gained approach off the tees with fairways gained added in, that 450 to 500 par 4 range, and opportunities gained.
Yeah, so Justin Thomas won last year. It's only been here the last 2 years. So if you are looking at tournament history, make sure, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but look at the last 2 years if you want to go off that data. But Justin Thomas is a winner here. Koepka T2 last year, and then won in 2019. So, I mean, two of my guys, and, we're going to get to it. So how we do it each and every week, we're going to go tier by tier, starting with 10K and up. Justin Thomas is not in that range. So we're not talking about him in this first range, which, takes the pressure off me because he's been terrible. But Hoop, let me kick it over to you first. 10K and up. Field is loaded, as we're going to often say. What are you doing with this range this week?
Yeah, I mean, this range for me is like the clearest range there is in this whole player pool. I mean, I feel very good about this range, and two guys right off the bat that I'm not playing for sure. And you guys might have different takes on this because you've been on this guy a little bit. Rory, I'm just not doing it. Like I just am not doing it. He was decent last week. I can go back an entire year and a half, 14, 15 months, and there's been one time where fading Rory has burned me, and that was obviously at what was the event he won? The Wells Fargo, right? Yeah, the Wells Fargo. Outside of that, fading Rory's worked out well. He's going to have to punish me a little bit more before I get back on him. At 10K, I'm going to be off of him. Dustin Johnson, he had a good run, obviously, but it was like a 6-month run. And then, ever since, it hasn't been all that great. We've had some missed cuts. We've had some meltdowns at the end when he was in contention, some 48th place finishes. Like, he just hasn't been great. He's not fully clicking. These other guys around him are the opposite. They've been clicking. They've been playing well. So I think fading him is something that I'm definitely going to do this week. And then the last guy that I don't have a ton of interest in is going to be Xander. Won the gold medal, which is obviously huge. I like him. I'd like to play him, but you're paying the full price for him. I typically don't like playing guys that are coming off a win. So I will most likely be off him. And, that leaves me with Morikawa, Brooks, and Spieth. Absolutely love all three. And, the pricing's soft enough this week where it's going to be pretty easy to get exposure to the guys that you want in this. DraftKings did a terrible. Let me go back one step. They did a terrible job with the pricing. The pricing is really, really bad, making it very easy to play all-star lineups, which we'll be able to do this week. Basically any team you build is going to look great. So if you're out there and your buddies are sending you, screenshot, oh, look at this team I just built. Look at this team. This team's so good. That's going to be every team. It's impossible to make a bad team or a team that doesn't look good. Morikawa, Brooks, Spieth, love all three. Going to be, highly owned for me this week.
Yeah, very good. I'm going to be, kind of on the same page. I think, Snyder, before I kick it to you, you mentioned a stat that I'm looking at very highly this week, and opportunities gained. I want guys that are putting themselves in a position to make birdies. I just think that's crucial in this type of format. Snyder, we got your guy, Colin Morikawa, one of the best ball strikers in the world, if not the best, ranks first in ball striking, first in approach, first in opportunities gained. He's 11K this week, which I do agree with Hoop. Like, I don't think price is that much of an issue because there's so many underpriced guys down in the 6K range, 7K range. What are you doing with the 10K and up range? What are you doing with Morikawa this week?
Yeah, I'm not worried at all about this price, nor am I worried about the travel from Tokyo. I mean, Morikawa, I mean, he did hit the ball bad last week. It was the first time he's lost strokes approach in a long time. I can't even remember the last time I seen that. But he did fire through 2 strokes gain approach on that final round, 63. He just sets up really well for this course. I mean, I couldn't imagine not playing him this week, so I'll definitely be back on him. I'll be fading Xander this week. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Spieth yet, but I'll definitely be on Brooks for sure this week. I mean, he just has a great track record here. He's finished second and first in the 2 times he's been here. He's gaining over 9 strokes total. He's actually played the St. Jude here before it was this WGC event. He'd play here a few times, and he's gotten in the top 6 4 times that he's been here total. So I definitely like him this week. Rory, I mean, he played good last week, but I just don't know if the approach game's there for him. And he lost 2 strokes around the green. I mean, he was only able to hit 26 of 56 fairways last week, so that's still a trouble here, and that could really hurt him here if he gets into this rough. I mean, I just don't think I can go to him. So I'll mainly just be playing with my 2 favorite golfers, and Morikawa and Brooks.
Yeah, no complaints there. And, you know, just to put this out there, like when Justin Thomas won, he gained almost 8 strokes on approach, almost 13 strokes tee to green. He lost 2 strokes putting in 2020 when he won this event. And the other thing is Brooks Koepka, he lost almost 3 strokes putting, and he finished T2. So, you know, what that tells me is, I mean, it tells me that you can be a bad putter and still do good here. You know, at least last year that was the case. You know, for me, I'm kind of in agreement with you guys. I'm off Xander. I like Brooks. I do like Spieth just because he makes birdies, and his form is as good as it's ever been. Rory, I don't see the scoring there. You know, I was on him for the Olympics. He you know, he was fine. I don't know. I mean, did he miss that putt on purpose? You know, I heard rumblings about that. I don't know if you guys saw that, like to give what's his name a bronze medal or something like that. CT fan. Maybe it was just something I heard, but you know, Rory, I don't know. I'm not full fading him yet or anything like that, but I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I do know that I love Brooks, Spieth, and then I got to have some call Morikawa. I just think this course sets up so well for him. I'm undecided on DJ. Most likely going to fade. I mean, he's the guy that's kind of, I mean, he could come out of like nowhere and you know, do well for us. But I mean, he missed the cut at the 3M, probably was on design, you know, by design. And, you know, he was starting to trend upwards. I don't know. I feel much more confident in the form of some of these other guys. Koepka has been playing well at many events, not just majors, you know, T5 at the Travelers. And this is a big boy event. So we don't want to count out Koepka. I think my 1 and 2 in this range is going to be Koepka and Spieth, and then Morikawa, just because the only reason is price, I think, for me. Mike, Hoop, did you have kind of a 1 and 2 in this range?
Yeah, I'm going to go, I'll say Spieth and then Morikawa.
Yeah, I like that. Snyder, what about you? And then take us into the 9K range.
I'm gonna go Brooks 1 and then Morikawa 2, I think, the more I think about it. For this 9K range, I mean, Justin Thomas is right there at the top. He played a lot better over the weekend last week. I'm not sure if I can pay this price tag for him, especially if I'm going to play 3 of those 10K guys. So I'll have to see what I'm going to do there first. Hovland, he played well. He fired that 7 under 64 on Sunday to jump inside the top 15. That pour around the green game kind of came back and got him again last week. I mean, I still think he's all right. I mean, he finished 59th here last year, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get to him because I do like a lot of these guys below them. I mean, You got Louis right there. He's just been on a tear as of late, finishing third or better in 4 of his last 5 events. He's gained 10 or more strokes total in those 4 events. I mean, he's just playing really good. I mean, Bryson, I couldn't imagine clicking that dustball's name, but I hope others do. I mean, his recent form here on this course history just isn't good. I think he gained 10 strokes putting the last time he was here, and he finished 30th. If that says anything, I think he's going to find the water a lot here. Patrick Cantlay. I mean, I like these next 4 golfers quite a bit. I'm just not sure what I'm going to do. I'm not sure if I can play them all or what the situation will be, but Cantlay, he looks like a solid value here. I think he's really sets up well for this course. 35th and 12th the last 2 times he was here. Daniel Berger, he's probably my favorite guy in this range. I think he's a little underpriced here. He's got great course history here. He's coming off an 8th place finish at the Open. He's got 2 straight top 10s in the 2 majors. The iron play has been strong for him recently. He ranks first in that proximity range of 150 to 175 that I'm looking at over the last 24 rounds. He just had great history here, so definitely like him. Scotty Scheffler, he's kind of been playing well in these bigger type events lately. I kind of like him here. 9.1K seems like a cheap value for his upside here, especially. He's finished 8th or better in 3 of his last 4 events, including the 2 majors in that stretch. Paul Casey, I'm not sure. I mean, he could be the guy just X out of this. I mean, he has been playing great, and he played great over in the Olympics, got into that playoff for bronze. The putting's been kind of holding him back as of late, but I think that could be kind of mitigated here some. He hasn't actually been, I mean, he's got a 67th and a 27th in his 2 WGCs here. So I think that can get me off of him in this range, and it'll probably just be like mainly hammering those other 3 guys right in here.
Yeah, I mean, one of the tough things about this week is there are so many good golfers. All the best golfers in the world are here this week, except for Jon Rahm. And I mean, man, it's just loaded. There are very few bad names to click, even in the 9K range. So I think what that's going to do is spread out ownership, which really helps us when it comes to DFS. Hoop, 9K range, loaded, as we've talked about. What are you doing with this range?
Yeah, absolutely loaded range, and it's tough because you're going to have to make some cuts. I mean, you can't play everyone. Well, I mean, if you listen to people at other sites, they're going to tell you to get a little sprinkle of everyone. Not here. We're going to make some cuts. The problem is, I don't know who I'm going to cut, and that's one reason to sign up at Rumpier Sports, so you can get our final takes on our player pools and whatnot. Because I'm looking at this range. I love Justin Thomas, love Hovland, love Louis. Like all the guys that Snyder mentioned at the bottom: Cantlay, Berger, Scheffler, Casey. The 2 I feel good, kind of Xing out right now, Bryson and Matsuyama. I mean, can't imagine playing Bryson. Had the COVID thing. Course doesn't set up well for him. Doesn't have success here. He's been terrible. And that's one thing that Snyder can take a big victory lap on. Even when Bryson was finding some success, he held strong and said, no, this guy's not good. And it's true. He just sucks. I mean, he's just not a top tier guy. But yeah, you got to make some cuts here. I mean, the one thing I will say, like Justin Thomas, anytime he's under 10K or not like in this top range, I mean, he's the 7th most expensive golfer in this player pool. To me, that's just wrong. I think Justin Thomas is better than that. His putter, those first couple rounds at the Olympics, I mean, it was dreadful. I mean, it was so bad. He's just an awful putter. I mean, can he really be that bad? Event after event. Like if he turns on the putting, it's game over. Like, and by turn on the putting, I mean, just don't be terrible, be okay at putting, which we've seen him do in the past, and he wins events. So JT is a guy I think I will definitely play. I feel like you probably have to make the decision who to play between Hovland and Louis. I don't think you can really play all 3 of those guys at the bottom where I said, I like Cantlay, I like Berger, Scheffler, Casey. Probably can only play, 3 of those guys. So I still have to make some cuts in this 9K range, but man, it's going to be tough because these guys look really, really good here.
Yeah, with Justin Thomas, I know I'm obviously kind of a homer, and it's honestly because I think he is one of the better, if not best, ball strikers. Now, honestly, Colin Morikawa probably has him in that arena, but he is up there for sure. Tee to green. When he gets on the greens, he struggles. But I'm looking at opportunities gained, a stat that Snyder mentioned, and I happen to be on also. Not something that we talked about. Justin Thomas ranks second in that stat category over his last 24 rounds. What that means, he's creating opportunities. He's just not getting it done on the putting surface. And we've already seen that you can be a bad putter and win here, which puts an emphasis on your TV green game, your ball striking. And so I'm kind of fine with that. The other thing too is just like I'm not pot committed, but I played him heavy last week at a course that we didn't really know a ton about, that maybe did not set up as good for him. We're at a course that sets up very well for him. I think it'd be foolish of me to fade the guy this week. So obviously I'm going to have exposure. We all know that though. I mean, it's a course he's obviously won at. And I think Hoop made a really good point too. So, and I just think he's going to be lower owned, which is what we love. I mean, price is cheaper. He's going to be lower owned too. And so I think he makes for phenomenal tournament play. Hovland's one of those guys where it's like, man, I think I have to personally make a decision between Hovland and Justin Thomas. I got to go Justin Thomas, but I wouldn't blame anyone for going to Hovland. This guy is just, he's such a good player, such a phenomenal player. So Louis, I'm going to be off. I'm not going to play Louis here. I get that he's just been on a tear. It's just, I mean, man, we're not used to seeing Louis price this high. This field is just stacked. I know every major he's been getting it done. I just think that it's going to come to an end at some point. I mean, you can only do what he's been doing for so long. I'm going to be off of him. I'm going to bet he's going to be very chalky too. I'm showing ownership projections 20 to 25%, which I think is crazy because, that means I'm fading guys like Justin Thomas, Hovland, maybe even Cantlay to get, a Louis in my lineup. So I'm not going to be playing him. I'm not playing Bryson. I'm not playing Hideki. I'm with you guys on Cantlay, Berger, and Scheffler, and probably Casey. I don't know if I can play all four of those guys. I got to make a cut somewhere. It's probably going to be Casey, since that's the guy I never really play. And I'll be honest, it burns me more often than not. The guy's been playing phenomenal, but Snyder, me and you were talking about it a while back. Scheffler, this dude shows up in these big field events, and it's like, he never gets coverage or anything like that. So I think
another thing that benefits him, I think, these no-cut events, because he has the ability, Scheffler that is, to just come out and fire low rounds. Like, he gets hot and racks up birdies in a hurry. So even, if he has a bad first round or a bad second round, he has the weekend to make a move, and he's done it a ton in the past. So I think Scheffler, really good play for that reason.
Yeah, honestly, I think, so he finished T15 here. Berger was T2 and Cantlay was T35. But we know Cantlay, if we go back to 2020, at that point in time, his form was terrible. His form's much better now. So I would discount that a little bit. I think all three of those guys have went upside here. And I think I would much rather have them over a Hideki, Bryson, or Louis. So I'm going to say my 1 and 2, Justin Thomas, and then I'm going to say Scotty Scheffler as my 2. Snyder, 1 and 2 in the 9K range.
Yeah, I'm going to go Daniel Berger 1 and then Scotty Scheffler 2.
I like that. Hoop, 1 and 2.
Berger and Berger, then JT.
I like it. Hoop, 8K range. I still think there's going to be, some options down here. But what are you doing in the 8K range?
Yeah, so I mean, we've all kind of liked a lot of guys, 9K and above, and it's hard not to. A lot of real solid names there. So this is the range where I'm going to be forced probably to make some cuts. So I'm not playing many of these guys. I'm going to fade actually most of them. A couple that stand out, I think, as plays this week. Webb Simpson. I mean, 8.5K, a par 70 course. I believe he's had success here in the past. Recent form a little bit shaky, but you're getting the discount. I mean, if this is last year's Webb Simpson, he's probably 9.5K instead of 8.5K. We saw some glimpses of progress at the Open. Had some good rounds, good first round, good third round. He was steady really across the board. Finished 19th. Can he carry that momentum into this event? I'm willing to give him a look and see. Answer I do like at 8.3K. Corey Connors is another guy. I'm just going to keep playing Corey Connors. I mean, I made a mistake and didn't get on him a ton at the Open, and he was good there. A couple miscuts. He had the miscut at the U.S. Open, miscut at the Scottish Open. He just has upside, and at 8.1K, I think it's a fair price tag for him. I'm going to fade, most of the. I mean, I guess Tony Finau's the name that's in this. He's been bad at this event, I believe. Snyder can correct me if that's wrong, but 8.9K. It's just something. I love Tony Finau overall, but something's just not right with his game. Even these better performances lately, the 15th at the Open Championship, the 28th at the 300, he's still just, I don't know, he didn't do anything that impressed me all that much. So I'm going to keep fading him. And like I said, most of these other guys I'm going to be off of as well. Patrick Reed at 8.7, that's maybe somewhat interesting for people, but man, he's been all over the map, played at the Open, played at the Olymp. I mean, he's been all over with the travel stuff. So I think this could potentially be a week where we see him, perform really, really poorly. So mostly fades here. Those few guys that I mentioned, I do like quite a bit though.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I mean, if you just think of pure roster construction, we like a lot of the guys 9K and up. It's going to naturally lead you to being under on this 8K range. I see that for myself. Snyder, what about you? What are you doing with the 8K range?
Yeah, like you guys said, I'm not sure how many of these guys I'm going to be able to play, but I definitely like a couple of these guys. I want to start off with Webb Simpson. I think he's got a great price tag here. He's coming off a solid outing overseas at the Open. This course just kind of screams as a Webb Simpson type of course, being a shorter par 70, Bermuda greens. He's finished 12th and second here in his two WGCs here. And he just seems to like a ball out on these par 70s with Bermuda grass. So I definitely like him. Corey Connors is another guy. He's been playing really well, and I liked how he finished over the weekend at the Olympics. He went 66-65 to finish. This track should set up well for him too. I mean, he's a great ball striker. He ranks second in fairways gained. He's 10th in par 4 scoring from that 450 to 500 range, which we'll have 6 of those here. He's been 8th in ball striking over the last 24 rounds. It's just another one of those deals. I mean, when you look at his putting, that's kind of held him back at some point. But when you look at last event at the Olympics, first round didn't putt well, but each round past that he built it on, and he gained strokes putting on that 4th round. So I think he's going to build off that and bring it over here. Another guy I have a lot of interest in will be Matthew Fitzpatrick. I mean, this course just seems to fit his mold like really well. He's finished 6th and 4th in his 2 appearances here. He's been great off the tee. The iron play, he's been trending back up. I mean, he's been known as a great iron player, but he kind of lost that at the start of the year, but that's been trending back up. He's got a strong short game. I really like just how this course fits for his game. He's talked about how he likes this place and it fits other courses that are similar to his. Tony Finau, definitely can't play him. I mean, it's either been poor driving accuracy, bad iron play, or he's had struggles with the short game and stuff over the last couple of months. So I'm definitely not playing him. Shane Lowry is interesting for like some larger GPPs, I think. I mean, he just hasn't been able to put 4 good rounds together, though. He was in contention last week, entered the Sunday top 10, but he shot 3 over on the front 9. He just couldn't get it going, but he finished strong on that back 9. He made 3 birdies in his last 5 holes to get back to even for the day. I mean, he's been a strong iron player as of late, and he's I just like where he's at. He finished 6th here as well last year, so that's interesting. Abe Answer, I mean, I could see a lot of people going to him just based off of how his game sets up for a course like this. He has finished T15 or better in 6 of his last 8 events, and he shot sub 70 in all 4 rounds and gained strokes across the board at the Olympics. Definitely could see people going to him. And I think that's going to do me for this 8K range.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, I'm going to make a lot of cuts in this range. whether it be right or wrong. I'm not playing Patrick Reed. Fitzpatrick, man, this guy, it's like if I play him, he sucks, and if I don't play him, he's good. I mean, I know he's got skill. He finished T6 here last year. I'm not going to X him. I am going to X Tony Finau. I think Hoop's right. Something's just wrong with this guy. I got to stop playing him. I'm going to be off, and obviously, water hazards here. I don't think it really sets up good for Tony. Shane Lowry, I'm not going to play him. Neiman, I'm not going to play him. Answer, it's going to be another cut I make. Mainly, possibly make. I think he's going to be one of the higher owned guys in this range. He doesn't make mistakes, but at the same time, I don't think he's going to do enough to get it done for us. And I think he's going to be popular. So I would rather play a guy like Corey Connors, good ball striker, not a good putter, but we've seen not good putters win here. And I like Corey. I think Corey Connors is, just a very good golfer, underrated. He was good at the Open. No one thought he had a chance at the Open. T15 there has to be a boost to his game at a course that honestly isn't really kind of his specialty at all, in Link's style. Cam Smith, I don't think I'm going to play him. So this range, I'm going to make a lot of cuts. I do have interest in Corey Connors. I do have interest in Webb Simpson. I saw some good stuff from Webb Simpson at the Open. I just think he's too cheap. He's probably maybe rounding into form. And he's going to pop one of these times. I don't think he's going to win. I could definitely see him getting a top 10 here. And at 8,500, I would much rather have him over Neiman, over Lowry, over Reed, over Fitzpatrick, and over Tony Finau. So I got to make those cuts on all those guys. I'm going to bulk up and get more ownership on Webb and Connors. And I'm considering Xing everyone else out in this range. So I'm going to say Webb is my one and Corey Connors is my two in this range. What was your 1 and 2 in this range?
Yeah, 1 in this range is going to be I think I'm actually with you. I think I agree. It's going to be Webb, and it's going to be Corey Connors. So yeah, we're in lockstep there.
Yeah, very good. Snyder, what about you?
Yeah, I'm going to agree completely with you there. I like Webb number 1, and Corey Connors will be number 2 for me.
Hey, that makes me feel good. I mean, you guys are right way more often than not. So very good. Snyder, take us into the 7K range.
Yeah, this 7K range, it looks pretty interesting here. We got Will Zalatoris starting out this 7K range. It's kind of a down price for him than what we had been seeing lately. He makes for an interesting GPP play. He's coming off that withdrawal with that wrist injury, but I'm not sure. I haven't seen any reports on him yet on how he's feeling. I think that it could be a low-owned good GPP play here. He does tend to, he's a bad putter, but he does tend to putt better on these Bermuda surfaces. So that's a plus for him. Jason Kokrak, I'm wondering on his ownership. I think he may come in a little under the radar with some solid guys under him that'll be much more owned. But I think he sets up well for here. He's strong off the tee. He ranks second in birdie or better percentage over the last 24 rounds. Like him there. Harris English, I think he's probably the most mispriced guy in the field here. He's got 35-1 odds to win, which is the same odds as like Bryson or an Answer. He's got better odds to win than Tony Finau and Shane Lowry. He's been on a tear before going overseas. He finished 14th at the Palmetto, 3rd at the U.S. Open, and then he won the Travelers. I mean, his game was definitely trending up. It looks like it sets up to be like a great weekend for him here at Southwind. Brian Harman, he's just right under him. He's been probably like the most solid, reliable golfer this season, I think. I mean, he's finished inside the top 20 in 8 of his last 10 events. He sprinkled in a couple of top 5s in there to show his upside. Bermuda grass is his preferred surface. And I think this makes for another solid value play here with Brian Harman. And a guy below him, I've heard is getting some traction, Terrell Hatton. I think he'll be one of the highest owned guys in this range, similar to Harris English. I've heard a lot of guys talking him up. I think he could hit that 15 to 20% range. but I think I can get off of this guy. He's missed 2 of his last 3 cuts, and he doesn't have the best course history here. So I think that'll be a mark off for me that I can gain there. Billy Horschel at 7.1K. He's been playing really well in these WGC events. He's got some strong course history as well, a 25th and a 9th in the 2 WGCs here. And he had 4 top 10 finishes before this became a WGC event. It used to be that FedEx St. Jude, and he did really well on that when it was here before then. Solid off the tee player. He excels on these longer par 4s, and he's really been putting well lately. So I like Billy Horschel there at that value.
Yeah, very good. I mean, you know, I don't know if you talked about Sergio at all, but I show a lot of ownership on him, ownership projection on him as well. Really interesting range. What?
I just never play Sergio.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I hope he's popular and hopefully he sucks. But Hoop, what are you doing with this 7K range?
Yeah, I mean, some of our favorites are down here. I mean, Kokrak, I agree. I mean, mostly I agree with what Snyder said. Again, I think we're kind of in lockstep this week. Kokrak flying under the radar, I think, a little bit for some odd reason. I mean, he's been absolutely phenomenal, and not only that, he has the winning upside that we want. I mean, if he came out and won this event, I wouldn't be surprised. And there's not many guys in this range that you can say that about. So I think Kokrak's a really good play. Zalatoris is going to be, we were playing him a little bit. It's going to be kind of wait and see approach. I got to see something solid out of him, 4 straight rounds before I can really play him. Harmon has treated us so well, and he continues to have a value price tag. Again, much like Kokrak, he's showing he can get up there and compete in these loaded events. So why not? Love him. Hatton's a guy, man. It's funny that Snyder said that. I mean, I typically don't fade guys that are, in this spot like Hatton, but man, it's tempting just to be off of him at 7.4K. He's definitely going to be the highest owned, I think, down here because, this is a guy that in similar fields we've paid like 8.5K, 9K for. Now he's all the way down at 7.4. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do on him yet. Sergio, I do like a little bit. He's just playing very solid golf, hitting the ball well. This is a course that should set up well for him. Just an awful putter. I mean, awful. And it's like, I don't even care what the numbers say. You just watch this guy and you can tell he's a terrible putter. And it's like, it's not like he's just missing. Like he's just terrible. Like he misses things like worse than, just so terrible. I feel like I could get it closer than him in some of these situations, which is not a good thing for him. So I do like him. If he can just get lucky, I guess, on the greens, he might be all right. Horschel, he has the course history here, right, Snyder? He's been good here, Horschel?
I'm not sure if he has the course history or not, but I know he's played really well here.
Yeah, but, not in the best form, not decided on him. But those other guys I mentioned, I do like quite a bit.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little redundant, but Harris English, Kokrak, Zalatoris, love those guys. I'm not playing Sung Jae. I think I'm going to fade Harmon. I like to mention that why you're on him, Snyder. I got to get leverage somewhere. Hatton and Sergio, undecided. I would love to fade them. At the same time, I'm kind of thinking if I get like an MME, if I'm building 150, if I just get them in there to where I'm a little under the field, just so that if my other guys hit and these guys happen to hit, it doesn't kill me. That's something that I'm going to weigh. So they're not cuts yet. I would like to cut them. I definitely would like to cut Sergio. I hate playing that guy. But 7,300 is so cheap. You can do so much with that for a guy that has upside. And we know, we saw last year bad putters can do well here. So I want to fade Sergio, but when I'm looking at kind of the things that I'm looking at, he kind of fits the mold. And so to be determined on him. I'm not playing Adam Scott. I'm not playing Leishman or Horschel or Rose. So, and then Poulter, I don't know. The thing with Poulter is he relies like 100% on his putter. And I don't think this is a course to where you want guys that, are fully leaning on your putter, because that means other parts of their game are struggling, ball striking off the tee. which could be the case for Poulter. So I'll most likely be off him, which honestly leaves enough guys for me in this range to where if I want to get a little exposure to Sergio, I can. I just know I'm going to be under the field on Hatton and Sergio. I just don't know if I'm going to fade him. I do think my clear 1 and 2 though is Harris English, Kokrak, closely followed by Will Zalatoris for me. Snyder, what was your 1 and 2 in this range?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Harris English 1 and Jason Kokrak 2 with Will Zalatoris right there as well. I mean, I think he's a great GPP play.
Yeah. Hoop, you're 1 and 2, then take us into the 6K range.
Harris, what did you say? Did you say Harris English and Kokrak? Yeah, we're on the same guys, which isn't always the case. We've had disagreements a lot over the course of the last few months, but man, I don't know. It seems pretty clear to me this week who the best players are. Now we get down to the 6K range, and to me, this is where you can really make a difference in this sort of format because, again, in these loaded fields, people love going balanced. If you come down here and play a couple of these dudes and then you get exposure to, 3 or 4 guys at the top, your lineups are going to be different because people just typically don't do it. So I'm going to play a lot of these guys down here. Sam Burns will be in my player pool, 6.9K. A guy that has shown win upside, not only the ability to compete, but he can win events and loaded field events. So definitely interested in him. Matty Wolf, 6.8K. His price, just if there was a chart of his price over the last year and a half in DFS, it would be up, down, up, down, up, down. We paid as much as 9 point some K for him. Now he's all the way down to 6.8. He makes birdies. Do I think he can sustain 4 solid rounds and win this event? Absolutely not. Do I think he can outscore his finishing position on DraftKings? 100%, because he can go out there and make birdies. So he'll be in my player pool. AP's boy Carlos Ortiz at 6.7K, another guy that can make birdies. Golfed pretty well last week. I'm going to definitely give him a chance this week. Robert McIntyre, another guy we're just paying a ton for. Missed the cut on the number at the 3M, and now he's all the way down to 6.6K. Imagine if he made that cut at the 3M, made a little charge on the weekend, we're probably paying 8K for him. Now he's 6.6K, I think a great value. Stuart Sink at 6.5K. Lucas Glover, 6.4. Higo at 6.3. Love Higo down here at 6.3. We saw him win an event early on, and he's been terrible ever since. Cut, 41st, cut. But 6.3K, a guy that has shown the ability to win events, sure, sign me up. And I'm not saying these guys down here, you got to, play 30% of them or something. No, just, these are guys that you sprinkle in and get a little bit of exposure to, and you're over the field on them. So I'm going to play a lot of these guys down here. The few I mentioned are my favorites.
Real quick, a guy like Stuart Sink, he's a 2-time winner this year. And he's what, $6,500? Honestly, I think it's crazy. If you just add up the winners down here alone, Stuart Sink, winner. Phil Mickelson, winner. Carlos Ortiz may have been a winner late last season, but he's got a win recently. Max Homa has a win this year. Cam Champ coming off a win. Cam Davis, win. Sam Burns, winner this year alone. All of these guys are in the 6K range. I honestly am kind of, baffled by the pricing here, and which is probably why we're kind of lockstep in a lot of these plays. But Snyder, what are you doing with the 6K range?
Yeah, I like a lot of those guys Hoop had talked about. I'm going to start right here with Cam Davis. I like his scoring upside for this no-cut format. Under 7K, it makes him easy to sprinkle him in some lineups. It's been hitting the fairways really well, and the putter's been strong for him recently. He's went 17, 16, and 23 birdies made in his last 3 events, so I like his upside there. This track kind of looks like it sets up really well for Kevin Kisner with that par 70 with the par 4s. He's finished inside the top 30 in his last 2 WGCs as well. I like him for GPPs. Cam Champ, he's right there. He talked about having a mental reset and kind of switch some stuff in his game. after those 4 straight missed cuts, and something must have clicked right there because he's went 11th and then he won the 3M in his last event. He's gained over 12 strokes total in those events. He found the putting stroke right there, and his off the tee game's been good. Another guy I like down here in this low 6K range is Aaron Rye, the Euro guy. He's been playing well over on Europe. I mean, he's hitting fairways at a high clip. The iron play has been really good for him. He's hit 71% of his greens in regulation in the last 5 events he's played over there. I like him for large field GPPs for sure. And another guy I like down here at the Stone Min, I mean, Jim Herman. He ranks first in fairways gained over the last 24 rounds. He's been solid in that 150 to 175 proximity range, good on long par 4s. He's coming off 4 straight top 30s, and the approach game has been trending upwards. He's been hitting 75% of his greens or better in those last 3 events. And he's also made 15 or more birdies in those last 4 events also, and shown eagle upside. He's made 3 eagles. So I definitely like his upside there at the absolute Stone Min.
Yeah. So, for me, I kind of mentioned a lot of my thoughts in this range. I do feel like this is an event this week where it kind of comes together, and that doesn't mean that, it's going to be a bad week to play or anything like that. I just think don't second guess yourself. Like, just stick to what's going to work this week. And I think and I think we'd all be in agreement. It's this loaded 9K and up range, minus a bunch of the cuts that we made, maybe being under on the 8K range and getting overweight on, maybe the upper 7K range and then the 6K range. That, I think, is going to be the build path for me this week. I mean, when it comes to, I know I do the notebook play and everything each week. I could have a bunch of notebook plays. And I mean, you could pick a name down here. Higo is 6,300. I mean, I think that's crazy, to be honest. I think it's way too low. I gotta, with the format and everything, I gotta give my boy Matt Wolff one more try. He gets 4 rounds. We know this guy can make eagles. We know that he can make birdies. I honestly, like, just to be transparent, I don't know if I'm going to go severely overweight with any single golfer in this range. Honestly, what I'm thinking about is just getting overweight on a lot of these guys. I think I'm going to be able to do that because you know how it goes each and every week. Everyone plays a ton of golfers, which is going to allow me to maybe make less cuts in the 6K range and maybe get more guys in at like the 15% range. Like, if I got Sam Burns, all these guys around 15 to 20%, I think it's doable. And then cut guys like Kisner, cut guys like Westwood, Ryan Palmer, Kevin Na, Siwoo, guys like that. I think I'm going to be able to get overweight on this entire range. That's going to be my approach. If I had to give kind of one notebook play, I got to go back to Matt Wolff. I kind of feel a little bit pot committed on this guy. We know the scoring upside's there. The price is too low. He could be an absolute bust. I'm talking MME formats. Make sure you get exposure to him. I'm showing an ownership projection of 4%. We know this format is perfect for him. The guy can score. The guy can make eagles. He can be very frustrated too. He can make doubles. He can make bogeys. And so hopefully he doesn't this week. Hopefully he avoids the water. But I think from a raw scoring standpoint relative to his price and then factoring an upside, I think Matt Wolff is going to be my guy down here. But I like a lot of these guys: Carlos Ortiz, Max Homa, Cam Champ, Cam Davis, Sam Burns, Stuart Sink, Garrett Higo is kind of going to make up my 6K player pool this week. If I had to give a 1 and 2, I do think it would be. I do think, honestly, I'm going to say Matt Wolff, and then I'm going to say, I think I'm going to say Sam Burns. That price tag is just too low for a guy with his skill set. I see him grading out as one of the 15th best overall play if price isn't even factored in. So I think he's way underpriced here. Hoop, do you have a 1 and 2 in this range?
I'm gonna go Bobby McIntyre #1, and then give me Stewie Sink #2.
Yeah, I didn't even mention Bob McIntyre. I mean, that's I just clicked him right now. I'm gonna make sure I'm not fading him. Snyder 1 and 2.
I'm gonna go Cam Davis 1, and then I'm gonna go with Herman too. I like the ability to put him in there. You can like get some like Morikawa Brooks lineups with him in there. Might be different there. I like that.
All right, yeah, no, I like that. I really like the route that we're all on. I think it's going to be great in MME formats, and I do think if we stick to that structure, one of us, someone in RPS Nation, is going to take things down this week. I'm very confident in that. Snyder, now is the time of the show where we give our winners. Give me kind of your who you think's going to win, and then maybe a little bit of a longer shot.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Brooks. I think he's gonna break through and win it here. He's got great course history here. He's been right there every time he's been here. I think he's gonna knock through. Victor Hovland had said that he had played the practice round with him on Tuesday, I believe, and he's like Brooks was just hitting everything pure. He's playing really great. So I like hearing that. And like a longer shot, I'm gonna go with like Corey Connors. I think he's got the ball striking. If the putter can get hot, he can definitely string together a lot of birdies here and be right there in contention.
Yeah, I like that. What about you? Who are your winners here this week?
Well, I hope I'm not stealing from you, but I'm going to go JT up top. I mean, I think he can, figure out the putting game. The last, 2 rounds at the Olympics, things went a lot better for him. I think he carries the momentum into this week. And then down low, I'm going to go Jason Kokrak as kind of a long shot to win this.
Yeah, Justin Thomas, you got to like his odds there. 18-1. Kepka, the favorite. I do love the JT call. I think I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to go with Patrick Cantlay. We haven't really seen him in a little while. 25-1, I think, is a really good bet. And then it's not that much of a longer shot, but Scotty Scheffler, he's just so close to breaking through in one of these type of events. We know in every interview that you like listen to him, this guy wants to win events just like this one, where it's all the best golfers in the world. He puts a chip on his shoulder. No one, he never really gets the TV coverage or anything like that. He just goes along his business and gets it done, and he's always there at the end. So I'm going to say those 2 guys, and then I love them in DFS formats as well. Snyder, give me your final thoughts this week.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this setup here with the pricing. I think a lot of lineups you can build. I think I'm going to get some leverage on some guys. I think other people aren't. I'm going to fade some guys, and I think I'm going to be set up hopefully well for a sweat on Sunday. I mean, with these no-cut events, even like last week where thought I was drawing dead for 3 rounds, and then you get that 4th round. I mean, anything can happen in these events, so don't tune out. I mean, you're always in it, I think, until the 4th round's over. I mean,
we got our boy Uncle T in chat. What's going on, Uncle T? Hopefully you are watching the Yankees game right now. Cy Heel just got taken out of the game, but he's in line for 26 DK points. Free money. Our boy DC bet me that he would not exceed 10 DraftKings points, which is locked in, and I already feel like I'm partly free rolling for the slate tonight, which is you always love to see. Hoop, you have any final thoughts this week? I mean, talk just a little bit. You have a lot at stake this week with the final coming up. How many tickets do you have into that? What's kind of your strategy going to be?
Yeah, I mean, you got 2 tickets, and as I said, a lot of people fall into these balanced builds, and they start building their teams, and they just love getting in this middle tier. I most likely will take a different approach and not get stuck in this middle tier like some of these 8K guys that we talked about. I like some guys at the bottom too. I'm going to take some chances. And with these no-cut events, I mean, like Snyder laid out, it all comes down to round 4. I mean, you can be looking real rough round 3. round 4, some of these guys come shoot a low score and give you life. So you're never out of it at these events. It's fun. It's a fun change. We don't have to cut sweats after round 2, but man, it's a lot of fun come Sunday, knowing you're not completely dead no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last week. A bunch of guys just, got it done. So, we tell Chad all the time, like, you can't be victory lapping day 1 in these events at all. And even on Thursday, I've had it where, like, I was sitting so good in a no-cut event. I'm like, all my guys are way up there. One guy shits the bed. It ruins everything. A guy comes out of nowhere who is maybe higher owned, and then I go from like thinking I'm going to ship everything to not like to barely min cashing. So don't victory lap, celebrate birdies, and just kind of go with the flow. That's how you got to do. Honestly, my final thoughts this week, I'm going to do what we've kind of said in this show. I'm going to be on a lot of the guys that we talked about. The MME formats is going to be very, very similar. I might have to re-listen just to make sure I get everyone we were on. But I think that format's going to be perfect for this week. So that's all I'm going to do. I think it's going to be a very good week. Again, if you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps us to keep this free for you each and every week. If you're not a member, come sign up. We have a code for you that's going to be available through up until the NFL season starts. RPS NFL 15. It's going to get you 15% off for life. With that, guys, excellent show. Hoop, best of luck to you this week. I know we have a lot of members in the PGA final. Best of luck to all of you that are in it. I just hope that we see one of those RPS logos up top. With that, let's all run Pier this week.